If your office looks like this, or your kid's daycare looks like this, it's only a matter of time before it's your turn.
We really haven't seen the peak yet. It probably will continue increase. At the moment, the trend is still going upwards.
Locking ourselves away from other humans during COVID led to immunity debt. With our defences weaker against bugs, colds and flus came back with a vengeance last year. 2023 seems to be tracking the same way, featuring the usual suspects, as well as a few surprise comebacks. So what's on the winter menu at Cafe de Lurgy? Influenza A with a side of H1N1. Yes, the dreaded swine flu back by unpopular demand. Rhinovirus, a classic dish and main cause of the common cold. On the kids menu, influenza B and respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. And for dessert, bad old-fashioned COVID, the newcomer to the annual winter snotfest no one invited.
Those viruses are all circulating at the moment in our population. It's important for us to remember flu actually can be prevented if you get the flu vaccination.
Yeah, all right. Now we've got Dr. Brian Betty to explain a bit more to us. Brian, I don't know if it's just me, but I really feel like the colds and the flus, they're worse this year. Are they?
Yeah, look, we've seen an upswing in particularly influenza around the country, lots of colds and flus, and of course we've still got COVID with us. So all those are sort of circulating at the moment. It's into winter and that's when we tend to see the upswing, and that's sort of what's happening at the moment.
We've got a few troops down here at the project, and to be honest, I'm feeling a bit sort of 80%. Could I actually have one of these illnesses, or are they all a bit more severe than that?
Oh, no. When it starts, it can be very subtle when it sort of kicks off. You can just feel not sort of quite yourself, a bit fatigued, a bit tired, maybe a bit of a slightly raspy throat. Then sort of the other symptoms start to cut in, which can be muscle ache, headache, cough, sore throat, all those sorts of things that we associate with winter flus and colds. So often at the start, yeah, it is a bit tricky and you can feel a bit off colour.
I've got to say, I've known Jeremy for 20 years and he's been experiencing those symptoms for the whole time, so I think it's going to be okay.
No, I do have the raspy throat thing coming on. Should I stay home or should I wait for it to develop?
Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a really, really good point, Jeremy. Absolutely. If you're really starting to feel you've got a cold or a flu coming on, the absolute best thing you can do is stay home. Because if you don't stay home, you tend to spread it, and that makes things worse. So really staying home is one of the big pieces of advice we've got now. Certainly very pronounced since COVID, and certainly one of the things we need to keep in mind. And
the flu shot helps, protection for those 4 flu and cold strains we talked about. How's the uptake? Because the one thing I want to know is, can my doctor tell me how up to date I am with my shots? Because I've kind of forgotten where my status is at the moment. Yeah, well, it depends on the vaccination. So certainly with the flu vax, you should have the flu vax once a year. Really, really important that every year a new injection is required, and that's what should happen. So if you had one last year, it will not protect you for this year's strains. Will my doctor have a record of that? And actually, it's a really important point that the biggest... Yeah, no, it should be on the records. It's all put into a central database, and it should all be there as to what you've got or what injections you have had. That goes for the COVID injections as well, so that's really important.
Where are we at with COVID, Brian? Have we reached the point now where it's just another thing? We'll get it sometimes, no big deal.
Yeah. Look, it's circulating. It's now what we call endemic. That is, it's in the community. We're not going to get rid of it. It is part of what we have throughout the year. So, look, it's something we still need to be really aware of. It still is quite a significant disease, especially for the elderly or those who have significant comorbidities like diabetes, kidney problems. So absolutely something we should be aware of. We still need to test for COVID. We still need the COVID vaccination, and again, talk to your doctor or nurse about whether you need another one at this point. But certainly it's with us, it's not going away.
Well, Dr. Brian Betty, it's always great to chat.
Great, thank you.
Kia ora, welcome along to the project, everyone. Look, Laura Daniel's here tonight. Laura Daniel.
Thank you.
Award-winning comedian, singer, dancer, the lots.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You know, I actually had a sick day today. I went and got coffee, I hung out with friends, went to the gym, did some skateboarding. It was totally sick. No, but seriously, on the topic of booster shots, I will actually be injecting myself tonight. I'll be injecting some life into this goddamn show, am I right?
Wow, yeah, give her a high five.
No, thanks for having me. I really need this.
In defence of...
You're going to be here for the whole show.
I mean, you're joking about it, but there is something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
In defence of the COVID booster, I know everyone's a bit down on boosters. Even, I was so into the vaccinations when we're all into it, and now it's like, is there any point in getting the booster?
Another job
Yeah, I got it about 6 weeks ago. 3 weeks after that, my whole family got COVID, and I was the only one who didn't get it. And I reckon it's just from that early sort of immunity you get from the booster. So with this horrific flu season we've got, get it now, and it might give you just a bit of protection going through winter.
So you looked after yourself, but didn't look after your family?
My children were too young to get it.
Oh, kids are too young for the booster, right? Yeah.